Hello friends, my name is Ankit Balvanshi and I welcome you on the video lecture on the topic calculation of average precipitation over an area. So, the first and most important thing of calculating and precipitation is to know what is precipitation. So, all the forms of water that reach the earth from the atmosphere is called precipitation. The usual forms are rainfall, snowfall, frost, hail, and dew. Rainfall is the most common and most predominant form of precipitation, causing stream flow, especially the flood flow in majority of rivers. Thus, in this context, rainfall is used synonymously with precipitation. So there are different forms of precipitation. We know hail, snow, sleet, and freezing rain. So these are the forms of precipitation. We shall see one by one. In nature, water is present in three aggregation states: solid, in the form of snow and ice; liquid, pure water and solutions; gaseous, vapors under different grades of pressure and saturation. The water exists in the atmosphere in these three aggregation states. First one and the most common one that we see is rain. Rain is precipitation in the form of water drops of size larger than 0.5 mm and it varies to 6 mm. So this is the most common form of precipitation. Second one is the snow. Snow, then another picture of snow. Then we have sleet. This is a mixture of water and ice. Then we have hail. Hail and let's go on the topic mean precipitation over an area. So rain gauge rainfall represent only point sampling of the areal distribution of a storm. The important rainfall for hydrological analysis is a rainfall over an area such as over the catchment. To convert the point rainfall values at various stations into average value over a catchment, the following methods are used. So the three main methods are arithmetic mean method, method of Thiessen polygon, and the third one is isohytal method. So using these methods we can find the mean precipitation over a catchment. And why are we not using the rain gauge is that they give point rainfall, and if we require the average rainfall of an area we should use the methods which are arithmetic mean, Thiessen polygon, or the isohytal method. So first one is the arithmetic mean. As the name suggests, is just the mean of the precipitation in an area. So when the area is physically and climatically homogeneous and the required accuracy is small, the average rainfall for a basin can be obtained as the arithmetic mean of the values recorded at the various stations. So P bar is the precipitation mean. P1, P2, P3 are respectively the values of the station at 1, 2, 3 and so on, and N is the number of stations. So here we got the arithmetic mean of that particular area. Second method is the method of Thiessen polygon and most used method. The method of Thiessen polygon consists of attributing to each station an influence zone in which it is considered that the rainfall is equivalent to that station. The influence zones are represented by the convex polygons. These polygons are obtained using the mediators of the segment which link each station to the closest neighboring station. Let's plot that. First of all, we draw the outline of a catchment. This is suppose a catchment. We have these as the stations. Okay, so we connect each and every station. Okay, after that we draw the perpendicular bisectors. We have drawn the perpendicular bisectors and then we calculate the area enclosed for each of the station. Suppose for station 1 we have A1 P1 is A1 is the area enclosed for station A, station 1, and precipitation is the precipitation enclosed for station 1, precipitation station 1. Similarly, for station 2, A2 is the area enclosed and P2 is the rainfall. Similarly, we have for station 3, station 4, station 5, station 6, station 7 and station 8. So A1, A2, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8 are respectively the areas enclosed for the respective stations. Station 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8 are respectively the precipitation values of the respective stations. So the Thiessen polygon says that mean of the rainfall is P1 into A1 plus P2 into A2 plus P3 into A3 up to PM to AM divided by the total area. P1 into A1 is nothing but precipitation of station 1 into area enclosed of station 1 plus precipitation of station 2 into area enclosed of station 2 and so on divided by the total area. So this is the most common method which is generally used for getting accuracy in the mean precipitation value. There is another method that is known as the isoheital method. So isoheital, as the name suggests, an isoheight is a line joining points of equal rainfall. So isoheight is a line which joins the points of equal rainfall. So in this, suppose this is a catchment and we have stations A, B, C, D, E and F. Now we have certain values of precipitation or at these points. Suppose F is having 4, B is having 7, C is having 9.2 and so on. So we draw a line joining points of equal rainfall. So this is one line having a magnitude 10. So all the points which are lying on this line are having a magnitude of rainfall 10. Similarly, we have drawn lines of 8 magnitude, isoheight of 8, isoheight of 6, isoheight of 12, isoheight of 4. Right. Now we should find the area enclosed, area between the isoheights. So let this be the area 1, area enclosed between these 6 isoheight and 8 isoheight is area 2, and the area enclosed between the isoheight of 8 and 10 is area 3, and the area enclosed between the isoheight 10 is area 4 and area 5. Okay, so in this P1, P2, P3 are the values of isoheight, we know it. A1, A2, A3 are the inter-isoheight area, yes. And P bar, A is the total catchment area. Okay, A is the total catchment area, and we have to find the P bar, that is the mean precipitation. So the formula goes like this, because we have two values of isoheights representing different precipitation, and we have got the area enclosed between them. So formula goes like this: P bar is equal to A1 into P1 plus P2 by 2 plus P2 by P3 by 2 plus A3 into P3 plus P4 by 2 and so on, divided by the total area. So the isoheight method is superior to the other two methods, especially when the stations are large in number. And these are all the methods. I hope you understand the methods in general. Stay tuned. Thank you and keep learning.